please join us for our flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning to everybody. By looking at the agenda, it looks like it's a fairly short agenda, but we also know that can change, so. I think all of us had the opportunity to review the minutes from Monday, November the 25th, to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll move.
Bob has moved. Entertain a second.
Second.
Tom is second. Any discussion?
I have a question regarding correspondence. We didn't have any listed in the minutes.
I can go at it and reprint them,
If we could do that.
if you would like.
Yeah, and we can get those later in the meeting.
Okay.
Move the table the motion,
Okay. Oh,
or you want to withdraw it?
No, I'm fine with it. Correspondence doesn't mean anything to me, so I'm looking at the minutes of what actually happened in the meeting.
Right, but
So,
it's been a part of the minutes and it wasn't there.
I'm fine. If you want to table it, that's fine.
Okay.
Table it.
Just go ahead and table it for temporarily until Denise gets our correspondence up to date.
Yes.
Do we need to withdraw that motion to make it official, Wade?
No.
Okay. The consent agenda, we got two tax,
I'll move to table it.
pardon?
Let you vote on that.
Yeah, we need to vote on it, okay.
Morning.
I'd still vote on the table, but you don't need to,
I'm sorry, Wade.
you need to vote on the table, but not to,
I'll second the motion to table it.
Okay.
we need to
Cody
have
is so moved to table the motion on the minutes until we get the correspondences updated into our minutes. Bob is second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried 5-0.
And just so we don't have anybody here to take the notes on it, so we just might want to update them, because I think they put all motions in the minutes. And before we get too far ahead for the agenda, I don't know if you're gonna move to the agenda, but I'm here right now because I need to make a request to amend or add something to the agenda, and then I'll step out.
Okay.
Amend.
Pardon?
10:45.
Okay. How much time you gotta need, Wade?
At least 20, possibly 30 minutes. And it will be for an executive session to discuss pending litigation. And that's all that needs to be said, at least to add to the agenda. We can deal with the more specific motion later.
We do it at 10:45? Do you need 4 then, or?
No, 10:30, 10:45, whatever works best.
Okay, we are set up to, at 10:45, to go down and take some pictures, as I understand it, with a transportation bus, so.
Okay.
Can we delay that?
We could,
I could call him if you want.
you might call her and see if we could delay that, shoot a target time of maybe 11:15, or have them available
Yeah.
whenever we work out. And we can hopefully get everything closed up here before we go downstairs.
Okay.
Okay, anything else need to be added to the agenda? Okay. Thank you, Wade.
Yep.
We've got consent agenda, move to authorize direct the chairman to sign 2 tax abatements to the treasury's tax roll in an amount of $495.86.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
should we wait until the recording secretary's
Okay.
back? She's got it recorded.
I guess she does, okay. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
come on.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Cody has moved, entertain a second.
Second.
Tom is second, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried 5-0. We have two motions inside our miscellaneous area. Upon the recommendation of the Coffee County Clerk, move to authorize the Director Chairman to sign the notice to Township Board for a 2020 cereal malt beverage license for Travel Centers of America located at 2775 US Highway 75, Lebo, Kansas.
Could we specify what township board that is?
Does anybody know what that township board would be?
Not sure if that's Key West or not.
Okay, my county director is in the picture. Should be in the front cover.
There's a map in your book.
That's what I thought.
Key West. Both of them.
Both of them be Key West.
Both of them are Key West.
Okay. Any other discussion? I didn't write down, do we have a motion on that?
Not yet.
No.
I'll make a motion.
Cody's,
As amended.
Cody
I'll
has moved,
second.
Fred is second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried 5-0. Upon recommendation of the Coffee County Clerk, move to authorize the Director Chairman to sign the notice to Township, or
Notice to Key West Township.
Key West Township Board for a 2020 cereal malt beverage license to the Conoco Travel Center / Cedar Valley Investments, DBA Fuel Espresso 11, located at 2754 US Highway 75 Northwest, Lebo, Kansas.
I'll move.
Fred has moved, entertain a second.
I'll second.
Cody second, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Wayne?
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Wayne.
I have also Jeff and Kenny here today, and so I'm going to start my part of it. I'm going to let them go ahead and get set up, and Jeff has a presentation on the work that has been done in the Highway Department for snow and ice and the equipment that we're using and the cost savings from doing that process, working with his team that has benefited the county tremendously. And so I just want to be able to pass that on and then let you have that opportunity to see that work as well. So go ahead, guys, and I'll just get started. I have a few things, as you note on my...
I have no idea.
Probably
Or, okay, so where the public can see it.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah. Where would that be at, Bob?
I have no idea.
Off our foreheads?
This is not, that'll just bounce off, Wayne.
Boom, boom, boom.
We could do that. Okay.
Make it tiny.
You guys need a new desk. You know how many times this thing's been glued?
Well, we could actually just
Everywhere.
drop a map
Yep,
down
wait.
and just sign it off the map.
The last
You can
one.
do that. How's that? Bob's calling
Did
up.
it count? Wait a minute. Did
There
it
you
do all
go.
the first pages?
Just drop her down and tape it to the top or something?
Yeah, I mean, take,
Maybe from the clerk's office.
yeah, we have to take your department.
Take the tape out of my
I
department.
don't have any tape. We get some tape. Jeff, would you go get some tape, please?
Get this figured out. But,
We'll get it figured out.
we will get it figured out. Jeff done an excellent job and tremendous amount of savings and the work that's been done, investing into this process, you will find basically, that the county has saved tremendously. So we'll have that one going here in a moment. Bob's got me there, okay.
I hear you.
Okay, well, no road permits, 2 zoning permits. Once again, we've had successful, positive, reports back on our groundwater testing, and then also on our leachate. You had asked a question before, how many wells we have. We have, 10 wells, out there at the landfill, and so, that's what they're testing from. And so once again, we've had another positive reports. They found no problems. So now we go into construction zone. And construction zone is, we'll hand out the new one. It didn't change too much from last week, but, we did add ditching over on 8 between T and U. You'll see that to be the difference. Feels like there's 2 in here. You ever get that, Don?
Yeah.
There it is, yeah. And so, there we go. So, we're working on the guardrail. There'll be, weather permitting, putting the guardrail up over on 22nd between January and Capper. Doing ditching over on Wayside, 7th and 8th, box clean out, 11th, and Verdure. Ditching on 15th between U and V, tree removal on 12th, X to Y, and ditching, this is what we added on 8th from T to U. Shoulder work as we can. They're also doing some pothole patching. Actually, we were out of oil here last week, but I believe we're gonna get some this week and do a little, especially up there on Old Highway 50, some of the gravel, the repairs that have been done are actually starting to come back out. Anytime we do that type of work, any place we go, is the gravel will just come back out, so we're gonna try to stick that gravel back down there a little bit and use some of that pothole patching to do it. Boom mowing, section 4, this is, I believe Bruce Hess's area. And we are mowing all the way back, as we can. You'll see a lot of the ditching is still wet in certain areas, so there's some of that we just have to hold back, because we're gonna cause more damage if we try to mow in those ditches than we would just leaving it alone at this point till everything starts freezing on us. So, that's a construction report. I have also too, is we had a call out, so information, had a stop sign, 13th and Wayside, that was a call out on Sunday, and, that was taken care of, the post was broke. Would like to talk about the city of Burlington. I had this report, and I missed the opportunity here last week. I think it just got real busy on us. But keep in mind, we have one of those bridges, B1, and if I'm going too fast, slow me down. I apologize, not meaning to. B1's over there on Kennebec. Kennebec, over on the west end of town, is we have determined that actually the county owns about half of that. The city limits and all of that goes right down the center of the road, and so we've had this discussion about half of it. Now, what they have is they actually have 2 structures, what they call B1 and B2, and both of those are on Kennebec. But B1 is the one where the county basically owns the north side of it, or actually it's in the county on the north side, the south side's on the city. There's no official document at this point that I'm aware of, but I would like to have the commission consider working with the city of Burlington for an agreement, and this would be quite similar to what we had done to Woodson County, is agreeing to basically the fees or the costs associated with the repairs of it. And so, what I would ask is that the county would consider having discussion with the city of Burlington. And so initially, their estimate right now to do the repairs on B1 is $44,628. Now you have to add in the engineer's cost as well. So let's just round it up for good numbers, say around $60,000 right now for the repairs that's required on B1. And as I'm saying, half of it's in the city, half of it's in the county. It would seem to me that, my recommendation would be that, you know, we would share the cost on that. So half of the cost would be about $30,000. And that's where I would like, you know, if the county agrees to that, is just go ahead and contact the city and then let them, come and visit with you, hopefully at a time that's convenient with them as well. And then you would iron out that agreement and have that motion that would go along with it. Is that something that you'd like me to do, is contact the city to make that suggestion?
I brought this up 3 weeks ago, and I think we need to consider both of those bridges at the same time.
That would be fine.
And what I suggested at the time was that the county take care of the big one and let the city take care of the small one.
Okay, now the big one,
Comes out basically saying we're giving them a little bit more, but we're use this as a, as a link, interconnecting link. And after we get the bridge done, I'd like to see us take it away as a connecting link, because we have 13th Road now, which is hard surface which didn't used to have.
well, all of that can be done. It's just, an agreements or basically documents that would have to be written up.
I would just like to see us, maybe us do the big bridge and them do the small one.
And that would be fine, is however you would like to do it. Right now, what they're looking at on the big bridge, B2, is actually the recommendation would be a deck replacement. They would have to take the whole deck off. Right now, at this point, it's $59,000, and so you're looking at, say, another maybe I don't know what the engineer's cost is, but I'm just guessing at this point, say another 15 or something like that. So you're looking about $75,000 on the big bridge. And that's perfectly fine, it's just whatever you'd like to do. It can be argued as a connecting link, there's no question about it, okay? So, whatever agreements what you'd like, but it sounds to me that you're in favor of supporting the city on these two bridges. So then the next one would be, you have that discussion and go into how far you'd like to actually go, on this.
I'm fine with Bob's idea of us taking care of the big bridge and help the city out in that aspect.
Okay.
I don't know the rest of his opinion, but
That's kind of where it was from our discussion last time, at least.
do we need to put it in a motion that,
Well, I think we could just draft it up that way.
Draft it that way, I still think we need to discuss it with the city, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're gonna argue it.
No, they're not gonna argue, they need to be fully involved in the discussion.
That's true.
What
I
we come
guess,
up with.
okay.
Your suggestion is we take care of the big one, the small one, they take care of completely, or we go half and half?
We take care of the big one, they take care of the little one.
Okay. So you're almost half and half, because you got a total of 75 and 60, so you're not too far.
Not too far.
You know, it's gonna be a 55-45 split, but it'll be a good deal for both of us.
Okay. So, at this point then, I'll just pass that information on to the city. If the county's, is that fair? I mean, that's what I'm hearing?
I think the consensus is here, if I'm hearing everybody correctly, we take care of the big one, they take care of the small one.
Okay. Well,
If that's something that'd be agreeable to them,
okay.
even though we haven't got it in a motion, we kinda got a consensus.
Well, that's what we'll do then, is I'll contact the city and let them know, and then,
If they agree, it will become a motion eventually before
Yeah.
everything is done.
yes, it will. And actually, it'll be a
We
document
don't need a
that,
motion to it, we get it figured out.
should have well, I mean, it could be as simple as the motion, as long as everything's described in there. Yeah, we could do that. So,
I mean, but we don't do it right now.
no, I'd say you really need to have the city come in and everybody agrees to it. Because the city also is gonna have to agree on their end to do that as well.
Yep.
So, they're gonna have a motion at their council meeting to take care of that. But the agreement per se could be as simple as a letter of agreement. And that would be something I could work out with Wade. And then we could put that before you and then also the city too to sign off on.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll work towards that. Now, what they're doing as well is, we're gonna bid these documents, both of these. We have our 6, they'll have their 2 or one of ours. And they're all gonna be bid about the same, they're gonna be bid at the same time. And that's gonna be the first of the year, is what we're looking at right now. So, we have that, we'll keep moving forward. The next one I'd like to keep moving forward on is the county planning. And I did see, and it was a nice article, Mark, in the paper here I guess, Wednesday's paper, wasn't it? So since we had the holiday. But Mark had in the paper and actually had the cities, the minutes of the cities or the actions of the cities. And Neustron had actually, it was listed in the paper that Neustron had overwhelmingly accepted the planning. And I think you were there, Bob. It listed you as giving that information. And so with that, not hearing necessarily anything back other than our last meeting, it seemed to be very positive. And mine is we started this process way back in July, actually. I'm seeing a motion where I was available to put out a request for proposal. And so what I'd like to do at this point is start bringing it into a conclusion where we actually have a consultant on board. And what I'd like to do is next week is have BG, and I believe BG was our one that we were talking about, is have BG come in and visit with you and kind of go over what a proposal would be to accept that proposal, and then you can visit with him.
BG is the one we're actually looking at.
Well, I would say that we could have at least that start, and you could say yea or nay, or however you want to proceed with it, but we have 3 consultants that basically has done, they had done their presentation. We went back over the presentation again, and now we just like to keep moving forward, and one suggestion would be to have one of them. If you don't like, at that point, BG, if BG's not able to satisfy your answers and you're wanting to go with someone else, you'll still have that opportunity to visit with the others as well. But I would say to keep going is let's have at least one of them come in, and the first one I would suggest would be to have BG come in, have Bruce, if he's available, just come in and visit with you, and then you can go over some of the details of what that agreement would be.
Help me out here. Didn't we say that we would need response from the cities before we continued, and that they would offer their recommendations, and we haven't discussed any of that yet?
Okay, so the next step, it sounds like what I need to do then is contact the cities and have them give me a formal response of who they would like?
That's what I would like, anyway.
Okay.
I do know the mayor of Burlington contacted me. He did not give me a preference as to which engineering firm, but they were on board as far as participation.
Okay.
And that didn't mean we were gonna follow the city's recommendation, but it would give us some help.
Okay. Now, they may not all pick the same one, so
Right.
how would you balance that? I mean, you're gonna...
I don't know if that was the issue with the cities. I thought the issue with the cities was, are you on board?
Well, that's the first
Again,
step.
we'll take it from there. I mean, to really, who the cities wanted, I've got 2 different cities, and if they don't pick the same one, then what am I gonna do?
Well,
I actually told them who I thought was the best. Both of my cities, I told them who I thought was probably the best for the project.
I think you're on the right track, but we did ask them for a recommendation.
Okay.
At the
So-
meeting.
How would you
So-
like me to proceed? I guess
I think we should get the information and then we'll decide.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is contact the cities and ask them for a formal response to say that they're on board, and who would their recommendation be? Is that correct?
And then a trailer that may not be the firm that we choose.
And that they would have to understand that may not be the
But we would
firm,
like the recommendation.
but their recommendation. Is that what I'm hearing?
Since all the cities are gonna be a player in this, we need to have their input, my thought. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to take the steps just like you was talking about, be in touch with them. And first of all, make sure that they're on board, and right now it appears that they're all on board.
Mm-hmm.
And then get a recommendation from them, although we may not select, they may select, all 3 of them may have different, or all 6 of them may have different selections. And it'll be left up to us to make that final decision.
And then at that point, you're gonna gather that information and then make your determination at that point.
Right.
So one more step, we'll keep moving forward on it.
That's probably gonna push it on down the road another 3 or 4 weeks, but with them being a player, they need to be a part of the decision process
Okay.
also, my thought.
Absolutely. Well, just wanted to take the next step, so we'll do that. Do you have any questions at this point? Because Jeff has an excellent presentation. He's covering this, and actually I'm going to let him tell you what it's all about. So,
We'll turn this on, so.
Go blind me.
Watch your eyes.
Don't hit you right in the face, Bob.
touch your forehead.
It's gonna bounce off.
You're gonna, thank you. You're gonna need a book on you or more.
Good morning, everybody. While he's getting that set up, I'll kind of set up the presentation. I had the opportunity to take a class this year, and into that class, I had to write a report and give on a capstone project and a written report, plus I had to present it. So that's what this presentation is. We started a couple of years ago, actually on this process. We ran out of salt. I hadn't been here 2 or 3 years, but we ran completely out of salt, and that was really, really uncomfortable. And we could not get salt at that time. There was just none available. So we started looking at our process. How much salt are we using? Why do we use that much? What can we do different? It just kind of evolved. It just kind of grew legs of its own, and we had a leadership group down there. It wasn't just me and Wayne. We had several, and Ryan, a lot of foremans involved, and some of the staff give some input. We went to KDOT and asked for their input, kind of teach us what we need to know, what we're doing wrong or different here. And we also took classes through LTAP. About everybody's been through it now, the snow and ice training. So give us an opportunity, and then this class gave me an opportunity to put everything together and kind of see where we've been the last couple of years and kind of put it to bed, as this is our process. So it may not work up there. If it doesn't, we'll just talk through it. There are some pretty decent pictures in here.
Well, look at that IT guy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Not bad. Okay.
That'll work, Kenny.
What you need, Kenny?
We're good.
You need another book?
To be perfect.
There you go. You're good.
All right.
That's awesome.
Go ahead, next slide. You know, like I said, I had to do this for a class, so not all blizzards are bad, but they can be challenging. So I don't know where I got this picture, to be honest, but I'm sure some of you have seen storms like that. I never have had to deal with one like that, so I'm sure the rest of my hair would be gone if we ever have another one like that. My understanding was 79, 80.
1979, 80.
So I was young enough and lived a sheltered life. I was just out of school, thought it was great, I suppose. Next slide. So for the challenging stores, you know, that's where the study began. What do we do when you run out of salt? What have we done wrong? What can we do different? Go ahead, Kenny. So we started with the questions: how much are we using? And what we found out was we was putting about 1,200 to 1,600 pounds on average down per treatment. That's lane mile, or per mile. I'm sorry, per mile, both lanes. 1,200 to 1,600 pounds. Go ahead, next slide. How much do we really need? After talking to KDOT, studying, we found out that 400 to 800 pounds per mile would be okay in our area. So how do we get there? Started working with the equipment we had, couldn't quite get there. Go ahead, next slide, Kenny. So some of the things we studied was our salt and mixed products that we were using. We studied our equipment to see if we could use what we had to achieve the goals of 400 to 800 pounds per mile. And when we'll get to it, we've done some training, done a lot of training. So next slide. Can you move that over so they can see them jars just a little bit better? If you take a look at those products, the one on the left is the salt that we were getting. And if you look at the bottom end of those jars, you'll see how much powder and fines there are. The newer salt we're getting now is on the right. You've got less fines at the bottom. You got a lot more of that middle grade salt. And I'll explain to you next slide, Kenny. Same thing with our aggregate products. On the left is our man sand, and on the right is what is called AIC, aggregate ice control, that we pick up down in Gas City now. You see a lot of the fines at the bottom on the left, and you got a lot better middle range on the right. What happens is when that mix gets wet, it wants to just freeze, just like anything else. It draws moisture, it gets moisture and freeze. This product that we're using now doesn't freeze as bad, and bridge over in our sanders and what have you. So that's been a great resource. Next slide, Kenny. What we did find though, it slid a lot easier than the old product did. So on the right there, you'll see a deflector angled down right above those augers. We added that to our existing equipment, so that product doesn't just flow right down into the gate. And it was what we'd see. It was just flowing out onto the ground as we were trying to do our testing. And so by adding those deflectors, we kept that from just flowing right out of the back of the truck, which we hadn't had a problem with before. Go ahead, Kenny. We added new ground speed sensors to our trucks at fairly minimal cost, about $2,500 per truck. These sensors allowed us to maintain an accurate spread rate, and no matter what speed our truck was running, either RPMs or ground speed. So slowing down, speeding up, stop signs, whatever, we still have a pretty good drop rate and consistent. And then it give us all of our trucks have the same control units in them now. They're really simple. We've got them set on 2, 4, and 600 pounds. That's all that operator really needs to do. What we start a storm, what do you want us to drop it at, Jeff? We'll drop it. Let's say the last few storms we've had, we want 200 pounds per lane mile. They hit that, and then it's on and off. Is all they really have to worry about. So that's been a great asset to us with minimum equipment costs. Yeah, next slide. So now we're using about half as much salt per treatment. All the trucks have the same controllers. We have a better control of the mix and staying where we want it. We went to spreading both lanes at one time to single lane. So you treat going out, and you treat coming back, and you treat that one lane. We've got a lot more even spread across the whole surface of our road, and we have obviously a better quality material. And staff continue to look for ways of improvement. That's what's been about as much fun for me in this process, is they're coming to me with ideas. And matter of fact, just a couple of weeks ago, we ran into some problems we've had for several years. Even after we've been through all this and talked about it all, now we're looking at our pre-wetter systems. You know, we've got the tanks to pre-wet that just haven't worked right. We think we found a solution to that. It's not going to be an easy fix, but one truck at a time, we'll try to get them to where our pre-wet systems, and we'll have that in our toolbox to really help as well. Go ahead, Kenny. Interesting facts about, well, that picture for one, that's actually on the East River Bridge. I come across that one day. It was after snow, after snow, after snow. Somebody built those snowmen, and I thought it was funny. Interesting facts about 2018, 2019. Go ahead, Kenny. We had 12 storms impacting 21 days, and as Bob knows, every one of those was a weekend or a holiday. No fun. We used 3,589 tons of material at a cost of $90,500 on the material. 1,265 hours overtime worked. 460,000, almost 461,000 total storm costs. So, I won't name the county, but if you can look at that picture, that's that's in another county, looking back at a county road, that's a county line where it starts getting nice and dry, that's our county, or nice, that is Coffee County. Interesting, I was, when I was giving this presentation, the Secretary of Transportation was, ex-Secretary of Transportation in there, and they used to do the same thing with Missouri-Kansas line. I thought that was interesting. So, we have 230 miles of hard surface road. We're saving approximately, with today's dollars, about $1,692 per treatment, or what really excites me is 69 tons less of mix per treatment. So that means that's still in our resources to use the next time. And typically we'll go through 2, 3, even 4 treatments a day sometimes. So that just goes up exponentially with however severe the storm is. So it's pretty fun numbers for me to look at. That's basically it. And that's how well my presentation went. At class, I had a standing ovation.
So we gotta do that here?
No, I wouldn't expect it. Please stay set down. Is there any questions?
How many trucks do you have set up to put the wet down, the wet streaks?
Just one.
Just one?
Mm-hmm. We've got one. And, help me, Wayne, but what we concentrate on is our large bridges, and our new asphalt. That's our first focuses on that. And then, we've done, we'll do some fog seal, whatever. The guys got out 3 tanks on Wednesday. And that was right out an 8-hour day. We've done more. Stay a little longer, we can do more, but yeah, one truck was pretty wet.
How many you got with dry?
7. 7 routes. And with some spares. Do what?
Good presentation.
Thank you.
Do you have to treat 2 to 3 times in a day, or, I mean, is there?
It's interesting. We're trying to look at that as well, but yeah, a lot of times we'll go over, it'll take about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours for one truck to get over their route. And then by that time, you go back to where you started, and you're looking to see if you've done any good. If you started to do some good, or you have more snow drift, you'll plow it off. And that's where, it's nice using less stuff. But, depending on the storm, did that even get a chance to start working once you've been around? One of the things we learned, KDOT uses, they're mostly straight salt now, putting about 200 pounds per mile down. And our guys were looking, why don't we use straight salt? Well, we can't. We don't have the traffic. But in a 800 pounds per mile, still putting down 360 pounds of salt. So it's more salt than the state's using. I'm using 100, no, that's 320, I'm sorry, 320 on if I'm treating 400, I'm getting 160 pounds of salt still in a mile. But is it working, is it not? Do we have to? Yeah. It just depends on the storm. Yeah, it does. Sunshine is our friend big time in this, because it makes a heck of a difference. No matter how cold it is, we get some sun. It really helps. And if we get our pre-wetters all working on those trucks, that'll make a difference too. It'll start activating that salt real quicker. So.
Well, Jeff and his team's done an excellent job. It's kind of hard to show everybody what we have done, but there's been a tremendous amount of efforts done in the years that Jeff's been there, and putting his team together and everybody working on the problem. There's a lot to it, not only the science, but also a lot of communication of how to best treat the roads. Our biggest problem is we don't have the traffic, so we're needing to be mindful of what we can do to make it safe. And they have made a big change in the department on how it's being done. And so that's actually, as you can see, the savings has come to the county because we had invested the time and the equipment, to improve what we're doing. And that's been a good team effort, Jeff's team that put this together. And as he said, he's presenting this for the it was the Certified Public Managers class. This is what Jeff had started a year ago. He graduates this Friday. And so, we're very proud of his effort. There was a lot of time involved, not only for work material, but also time at home that he had to do to basically take this class. It wasn't just showing up. There were several reports, several book reports to read and do reports on. So we appreciate Jeff taking the effort and being a certified public manager, and he graduates this Friday on that. So, but we do thank Jeff and his team. Everybody's basically making the county safer in what we do, so.
Congratulations,
Any
Jeff.
questions or
Thank you very
follow?
much.
Any questions or follow-up for Jeff or Wayne? Appreciate, can't say any more. Appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate the opportunity to save money.
Thanks for listening to.
You talk about the weekend, you'll never get away from the weekend on the storm.
No, that's
just part of
the last 2 years.
and that's just part of the business,
It's
yes.
just that's last 2 years, that's when they come in. Yeah, but we did miss out on a big one Thursday, that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice to miss that.
Maybe that means something.
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Wayne. Yeah. Okay, we've got the updated minutes, and the change there has been 4 correspondence been added to it. I'm not exactly sure the correct way to do this, but the original motion was made by Bob. Second by Tom, and as far as I know, that probably still stays in place. So, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried 5-0. Thank you, Denise, for getting that put together.
Denise, on the two motions for the serial home, we added the township to that. So on both of those, it should read notice to Key West Township.
You want who made the motion second there, or you want to just get it off the recording?
I got it.
Okay. Okay. Next part of our agenda, that Commissioner Tom Hugerton on about our economic development program. Tom, what have you got for us?
Well, it's been 3 months since Stacy left us. Seems like we've always had economic development, so I've given up the thought of combining it at all with code enforcement and or property management inspector at all. So now I just wish the discussion is get the job description that Rhonda has worked up, and I have read it. I just put myself on the agenda so we can talk about this as opposed to waiting for roundtable and just getting passed down. Everybody's opinion on whether we're gonna move forward with economic development director. And like I say, I've given up the idea of making, the ability inspector with the economic development. I think it's just, like you said before, Don, that person would be hard to find. So I think we need to move forward on an economic development director, period.
I know I didn't read this page per page.
There's a lot to it.
There's a huge amount to this International Property Maintenance Code, which I'm sure a lot of the big cities probably got one or more individuals, particularly just in that particular area.
Yeah, they have their economic development director, and then they have the code enforcement officer, and then,
To me,
administrator.
it would probably be very difficult to find a qualified person that could take care of both jobs and treat both jobs fair as they need to be treated fairly.
That's why I say I gave up on that particular avenue of kind of a pipe dream, I guess, so to speak. I just,
So is there much change from the old job description to this one?
It's
Or
just updated.
Just housekeeping, basically.
not a whole lot. You want the old one? You have a copy of the old one too?
I've read it before, I remember that, but I'll take your word for it. I mean,
Okay.
I'm just updating a few things.
Yeah, not a big difference.
Yeah, no, personally, I think we do need to fill the position. And obviously, it's not one of those that anybody can fill. So I guess we need to approve the new job description, and then obviously we'd have to make a motion to advertise to fill it. I guess that'd be the course of action.
I still think that there are better alternatives, that, maybe we ought to be looking at, a private firm or something to
Hire it out.
to hire it out instead of doing it. Since I've been here, actually, I've seen failure of economic development 3 or 4 times. We just keep going through directors, and they basically all have the same job description. And I haven't seen any success, really. That's just, I mean, Rhonda's done a better job when she was filling in positions than I think some of the directors did when they were here, so that's just my opinion on it. I think we go out, we hire people that had no experience to do it. We've hired people that supposedly had all the experience in the world and found out that was a lot of dud. So I think there's a lot of counties that do it. They don't do it themselves. They have someone else that does it. So I still think that's an avenue to look at.
Well, I guess I'm not educated on hiring a firm to do that, are you?
I didn't realize of course, there's firms out there to do anything, I'm sure of that.
Well, I know we spent over $8,000 this year to hire a company to send us leads and represent us in trade shows and whatnot, and nobody's, to my knowledge, I asked for your permission to contact those people. I have not as of yet, and I know Rhonda I shouldn't say hasn't. No, so I guess what I'm saying is that $8,000 going to waste, and we sent her, we went to Vegas to create some leads too. I'm not aware of a firm that you can hire. Bob, are you?
Well, I'm sure that if you check around, because I know other counties have other firms that do that stuff.
And what fees?
I don't have any idea, but I hate to say it, but I think economic development's been a failure here for the last quite a few years. I don't think we've accomplished anything. I think if we're gonna really push it and look for it, I think we need to get someone that's really, and nothing against Rhonda whatsoever, because I think Rhonda's done a good job, but I think some of our directors, we've gone through too many of them.
My thought on this, Tom, I think we need to have something in place. I just don't know exactly what direction to go. As far as measuring the value of an economic development director, one of the more important things is that economic development director helping us to maintain and keep the businesses we already have in our county. Because some of those real aggressive businesses, I'll guarantee you, they're looking elsewhere for opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a kind of a two-way street. That person has a responsibility of absolutely doing everything they can to maintain what we already have, and also to entice other opportunities to come in.
I remember sitting in a commission meeting, and the commission made a comment, basically when we were discussing economic development. All economic development is PR for here. So I wasn't the only one with those feelings. I think we need something that I I think we need to be looking at an avenue, something a little bit different than what we did. I mean, to me, we've proven what we've been doing really is not working.
Yeah. Is there a state firm, association, representing economic development directors for the state, that we could search out and get some information from them?
Well, CADA, but, they have put advertisements for directors on there for other counties. It's just an avenue for their, to place ads and to promote the state of Kansas.
Well, I've only been on this 2.5 years, and I know Cody and Tom's only been on it 1 year. And I think we all understand the importance of promoting our county, which it's done very well on the web. But when you're working to maintain what you already have, and you're working to bring in prospects, those people are gonna be, they wanna look at somebody face to face and not just read material or look at a computer or a website or what it is. They do business with people, do business with a face.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to point fingers.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
And I don't have all the answers, absolutely not, although I've been in business all my life.
And I
But
don't
you
either.
absolutely do business with people, whether it's one person or a group of 3 or 4, or maybe more. And Tom, I don't know exactly, I think we need to proceed ahead, I just don't know exactly the initial step to take.
I don't have all the answers either, Don. I'm with you. When I do my business, I do it face to face with most of my clientele. I mean, even on the larger projects, you know, it's.
You go meet those people, you don't, you may initiate it on a phone, or you may initiate it on email or whatever.
Correct.
But you do it all face to face. I mean, that's the only way to conduct and present your program, present your county, present your company, whatever it may be.
Well, I just don't, the only reason I put myself on the agenda is so we can actually talk about this at length. And then, you know, this, maybe 3 months isn't all that long, but I don't wish it for Rhonda that it drag out for another 6-8 months.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, you think we need to be looking toward a person to fulfill that position, or do you think we need a firm to fulfill that position with Rhonda being the interim, so to speak, liaison?
So no matter what, we'll need someone local on the ground to meet face to face, to go to the businesses, to help with the paperwork, to do all that stuff. I just Googled economic development consultants there, and there's 6 of them that pop up right off the bat, one of them being the site selection group that we've already contracted with. And obviously, those companies are gonna be the ones that would work with our in-house person, and then they would be the ones to work with the larger companies that are, you know.
Well, I think that's why we hired them to do that,
Right.
yes, but there's nobody, it's been 3 months now, and nobody's, that's all the further it's gone, so. I guess that's why I'm sitting here. Are we gonna hire a new economic development director or not?
I'd make a motion to advertise for the vacant position of economic development director.
Yeah, just, even though we advertise and we get some applications in, that's no sign we can accept any of the applications.
That's true.
At least it's a
At least we're moving forward.
At least we can discover what is possibly out there for us, and it's a step in the right, to me, it's a step in the right direction. Whether we like any of the candidates, you know, you may have to re-advertise in 60 days and try to find another set of candidates. But Cody's got a motion on the floor, and I'll second the motion. Because I think we definitely need to move forward, even though we may not know the exact direction at this time. Any other discussion?
I think you just motion just said what the direction was.
Yeah, well, it's a start, yes. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried 4-1. Denise.
And you can put it out there on the web, right? And we'll put it in the paper as well. Any other avenue we may have?
I've got NACO, IEDC, CADA, and KAC. I can go with those two.
Right.
Alright. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Is that all you're gonna need right now, Rhonda?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need to approve?
Motion to approve the updated job description.
Don's asking if we need to approve the updated job description, so I guess I'll make that motion to approve the updated job description.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor to update the new job description for Economic Development Director.
Second.
Woody, a second.
I'd like to table it till next week, give us a chance to look at it instead of here, approve, disapprove.
Well, that stuff gets happened every week here, if you ask me. No offense, I'm just saying, every week somebody comes up with some sort of motion and we gotta make a split decision.
And you can do the same thing I just did.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the floor with the new job, some minor corrections in the new job description. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried 4-1. We're about 10 o'clock. I'm gonna take just a short break.
Job description.
He's got one, everybody got one.
Okay.
I wrote on mine.
Okay. I did
Who
not.
are you, Mikey?
I just put new on the top of
Good.
mine.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. I
Good.
experienced Black Friday shopping for the first time ever.
Oh my, did you enjoy
Probably
that?
the last time ever.
Hey, this Black Friday wasn't even that bad compared to other Fridays I've been out.
I went to Oklahoma City.
I was in Wichita as
It was a
usual.
madhouse. And if that's not a madhouse, then I don't wanna see it if it is.
The first time Dwayne went Black Friday shopping with me, he goes, "You are never going again. It's not safe for you to be alone." So he goes with me now.
Oh, I think you ladies could handle yourself. After what I witnessed over the weekend. Oh, my goodness.
So Fred,
I should have took video of it. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, throwing and shoving and fighting and jerking around.
packet, your,
I'm like, I'm gonna get this over.
One year my brother went with us and he had a broken arm and there was some toy that was out. And some lady pushed him into the aisle thing and hit his arm and he goes, "Lady, if you do that again, I'm gonna hit you with this cast."
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have a problem in Walmart.
Oh, that,
Mine is expired.
oh, I see.
We're on a short break, Brad.
I had fun shopping this year because I have my grandson. to
Well, there you go.
watch over.
That's always a good thing.
Told the rest of them, you get what you get.
Right.
Brad.
Amazing how that works.
barbecue you had at the school. Is the best I ever had.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
It was
Well, it wasn't
really
the best
good.
I ever had, 'cause I
Right.
had none.
We've never eaten down here, so we didn't.
Well, I usually douse it with barbecue sauce,
Yeah,
and I didn't have to.
yeah, don't
It
do
was
that.
wonderful without it.
I'm glad you liked it. Yeah.
I did very much.
That's
That
the last,
was the
last
brisket.
one we'll do for, till spring.
That was the brisket.
He has the one to sign, right,
Yes,
so I can write.
you can write on that, yes. Farther than that.
Yeah, he had his wagon up there at the small business
Yeah,
deal.
we did pretty good.
School.
It was a pretty good, decent crowd.
Good.
Anyway,
Good.
ended up running out of food, which is about 1:30, which is about when we wanna run out.
That's good for you, right?
Yeah. So you got a push cart where you can bring it around the offices during the week. Takes 3/4 ton of diesel.
Well, I'm just saying, you can get your little push cart and walk the hallways and.
I don't know.
I'm gonna do a taco.
They might frown on
I'm gonna do a taco cart, so barbecue and taco, that's what we're doing.
it. That would be good.
What's that?
Special.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Right. I've got an alternative, but I've got a golf cart for sale now. Yeah, I did too, Bob.
Get that published eventually, I think.
I thought so too.
How many
What kind
tons?
of golf cart you got?
Huh?
What kind of golf cart you got?
An easy go, but it's a really nice one. I got a chance to pick it up at the right price and buy new batteries, new connections, yeah, like new batteries, new connections. It's just like
Brad,
new.
does somebody have?
And it's got the seats on the back, you can take 4 people and take them off and
If you can,
plug it out there. And anyway, I've got it for sale.
I can get it if I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I get it, like, by early afternoon.
I guess it's just that one thing,
I get it to you.
Yep. Commission.
Got an email address on that, can't get it.
Did you say?
Hey Brad, we're back in session, so what do you have for us here today?
I want to send out invitations to bid for 3 Dell servers and 2 Nimble storages for our virtual server environment. We're running out of space, and they're starting to show their age. So I have the money in my budget. I got a bid on it and realized it needs to go out for a SEMA bid. So I just want permission to send this out.
You have a ballpark number of what is Mike?
Under 100,000.
Under 100,000.
Yes, but more than 50. It's for,
What's your expectation of time that they would last and serve the county? And I'm not trying to throw a
They're-
red flag up,
yeah.
I'm just curious.
How old are the ones we got?
ones that we got are 5, 6 years old. This was originally put in probably 10 years ago, and I think 5 years they were replaced. And it's another 5 years. They're, part of the bid is a 3-year warranty on them. Next day replacement. So, initially guaranteed for 3 years, and then we usually buy another year subscription for support for another 2-3 years. And then at 5 years, it's, you know, right now we're really running out of space. Most expensive part of this is the hardware for storage. And the servers aren't that expensive, the storage part of it is. So I just wanted to bring it up to you.
This stuff should go down in the corner.
Just go down in the corner in the cage. The 3 servers will host 15 servers, basically. So, you know, you save on hardware cost and electricity and things like that with a virtual environment where you have, it's 3 servers, you know, imitating 15, and we need to add some more to it too. This will give us little expansion room. So, just wanted to get approval from you guys before I sent this out.
Okay, anybody have any, want to move to proceed ahead with getting an invitation for bid for 3 servers and 2 storage arrays?
Move.
Fred has moved. Entertain a second.
Second.
Tom is second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 5-0.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Anything else for me? Any questions? Not anything.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No questions till you walk
Come up with something after you leave.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
How about a projector screen we can pull down from the ceiling?
We're working on,
Something?
it's, let's try getting a 70-inch TV that will allow connections, you know, remote connections for interviews or anything like that. We'll have it connected with a laptop and the projector, so we just wheel in something. The courtroom is working on that, and we're trying to get it where we can use it everywhere in the courthouse.
I was just thinking, like, this morning Jeff had a presentation. We projected it there, that way it'd be visible for the camera.
Yeah.
I don't think we could wheel a TV and a cart back in here
No.
behind us, where it'd be, yeah. I mean,
We can do something.
It wouldn't take hardly very much to put a 5-foot screen up there to pull down.
No.
yeah, just.
I know in our lodge, we got a 10-foot screen, we just pull down very quickly and we're already set up to go.
We can put one up there.
Okay. I think it's something we need to take a serious look at.
I'll get a price on that.
Because we've had some presentations up here, and that's not quite right for the camera either.
Yeah. All right. I'll get you the prices.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Mike, have you by yourself? You need some other people to join you, 'cause we're a little early?
Nope, I am by myself. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
A couple of weeks ago, the sheriff presented to you guys basically the resumes of the architects for the jail. And I'm just here to keep moving forward with this and to get permission of the commission to go out and set out interview dates with one or all 3 of the architects. In order to move forward, I would like to have your blessing on this.
When I went through the book, Mike, and there was one of those companies in there that Randy didn't have any experience with.
Mm-hmm.
And by looking at the book and trying to gather as much information out of it as I could, the company that Randy didn't have any experience with, it appeared to me might be a lead company to work with. But that's just the first impression of looking through the book.
And with that said, I mean, this is the 3 that's turned in when this was published out. These were the 3 that responded. You know, we're looking at, we could possibly do like we did with the wage study, you know, have the 3 come in and do an interview. Would like to invite 1 or 2 or 3 of you guys, or however you guys can do that, to be a part of the decision making and part of the interview process. But at this point, we just need to you know, I'd like to move forward to get a date and try to get a date set up, and I'd really like I said, you guys' blessing on this to kind of move forward with it.
Timeframe you looking at?
Probably in the next 30 days.
Do we need a,
Good luck. You're gonna do that over holiday?
I mean, it is December, I mean, I say 30 days, I say into January, as soon as this first of the year rolls around, and who knows, the company may be open to where they can do it before that.
Right.
And I won't know until
Yep.
we
until
can
you start talking to
contact them.
Yep.
But
do we-
again,
do we need to have a more specific direction that you need to be looking at, whether it's a
Well, that's-
remodeling deal or?
No,
that's the whole
what
point of
they're
moving
determined.
forward.
No, that's what they're doing.
yeah, that's the
Kill
whole point
us.
of,
Kill us. What we need.
You're gonna want them to do all that with the ultimate end unknown at this time.
correct, because we don't know. And that's why we contacted these groups or they contacted us throughout the bid process or the advertisement of it, so we can get the feedback on where we need to go, which direction we need to, you know, is there a possibility to remodel, or is there a possibility that you may have to build? We don't know. I mean, I'm hoping for a remodel, but we don't know until we sit down and talk to them.
Yeah, no, I'd get some dates. See when it can make it happen.
We need to make a motion to let him proceed forward with this?
That wouldn't.
I would think the
I think
consensus,
it need to be a motion.
I think the consensus, Tom, could probably take care of that.
Well, I just want to be on the same page as everybody.
Yeah. Well, I know
I don't want surprises, I don't, you know, this is something we all gotta work together on, and I'm here to sit in front of you and talk to you and move forward with it, with the board.
Don't you think we need a motion? Isn't this a little more than just the sheriff's department? That's authorizing this?
Right, but we're just interviewing these candidates right now.
Okay, whatever you think.
Kinda like the thing we just did with the city, we've never had a motion to allow Wayne to do that, we just said, hey, go get this to this point. We have to make a motion eventually whether to accept it or deny
Okay.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't have any information, we don't have whether we can deny or approve anyway, so that's what we're doing tonight.
I think right now, consensus is probably sufficient for it.
Okay.
Just wanna get it right.
Till we get a specific
Yeah.
direction
Me
that
too.
we're going, then we absolutely need to put it in motion.
Okay, well, I then will reach out and we will make contact with the
Yeah.
companies or.
Let us know, like I said, I'd definitely be interested in attending. So.
Perfect, and I appreciate that. Anything else?
Any other questions? Any other discussion for Mike? If not, Mike, thanks for coming in.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Proceed ahead.
Ladies, have a great day.
You too.
You want to see it, wait a minute.
Over here. Yeah, somewhere. Over here.
If Wade can slip in further quickly, we'll proceed with what he has for us. If not, we can do a roundtable real quick.
Where'd Mike go?
He's
He's
done.
already gone.
He already gone? Okay. I was gonna catch up with him. Of course, he's a lot younger than me, but I don't know. Find my kid, huh?
Well, I didn't have anything for roundtable, so.
I think we ought to just go ahead and do that.
Start on it, and when Wade gets here, we'll.
It sounds like, Wade is not in the office. Denise, you have anything for roundtable?
No.
Fred? No. Tom?
No, I took care of it with my.
Took care of it out there that
my-
night.
But I appreciate your support, everybody's support on this, moving forward at that.
I just think it's something we need to move forward, so. Bob, you have anything to bring forward?
No, there is a reception for Marilyn this afternoon, retirement for
And
Marilyn.
I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to make it back up. Undoubtedly, they'll probably have a plaque. Are you gonna be around,
I
Bob,
will be here for it.
for that?
Maryland.
Door.
What time does it start?
Down in, Extension and then move to Fraser's office. Been here for
Jeez.
quite a while.
Yeah.
What time?
2 to 4.
2, 4.
And
And then basically, like,
Cody, you have anything for roundtable?
Nope.
And I don't either, but I think the only thing Donna's got for
It's our
roundtable
projector screen.
is our meeting, is our drill tomorrow, so. You have anything for roundtable?
I
Before I
just-
went around and nobody had anything?
I was just gonna mention that I spoke to Joanne at the chamber, and she said that, they have a pickup that they have to do at 11:15 with that van. So they're still gonna go ahead and come up here between 10:30 and 10:45, and if you guys have a few minutes that you can run out, that would be good.
Okay.
All depends on Wade.
Wade's got somewhere around that
Wait,
30
put it
minute
on Wade's
range.
shoulders.
So maybe 10, Wade, what do you have for us today?
As I indicated earlier, I requested the agenda be modified to add an executive session. At this point, I'd request the board, someone from the board, make a motion for the commission to recess into executive session for consultations with the county counselor to discuss ongoing county litigation for matters deemed privileged under the attorney-client relationship and statutory authority, KSA 75 dash, I've got it,
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't write that fast.
4319B2. This will also include, getting a litigation attorney, on the phone to have them a part of the conversation as well, so.
I agree with exactly what Wade said.
Okay.
I'll second.
Bob has moved, Fred is second. Any discussion? If, for how long a period of time?
$25 minutes.
45 minutes, of course, return back to here. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0.
10:17, 10:18.
Go in, yeah, let's say 10:18.
Yes, thank you.
Go to 10:43.
How much you need, Wade?
Probably 15 minutes to be safe.
So they're down there, they wanna know if
I
you can run out real
miscalculated
quick.
my time, so I have to go back.
No.
Come right back.
But
No.
now,
We gotta go right back.
maybe in 15 minutes.
Okay, I think that the bus has an appointment.
That's all right.
Well, they just have to keep it.
We can do it next week.
Yep. Okay, I will move, we go back in for the exact same thing, with the same motion, with the same people for 15 minutes and to return here.
I second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0.
They're going at 10:45.
10:45, we'll come out at 11.
got a minute.
It's gonna be a short minute.
It's like watching water boil.
Yeah.
Okay. That motion reflected we had Dave in this meeting.
We're coming.
Yeah.
Let's get the door.
I could pay.
You doing it again?
Nope,
No.
Are you going back in?
nope, we're,
Well, they're still
They're
waiting.
still down there?
Adjourn and run down there.
Sorry,
You gotta adjourn to run down
Well, right now, we don't have
No
any.
reason.
Does anybody have anything else for roundtable?
just that Maryland's retirement is from 2 to 4,
4.
and the graded exercise is Tuesday and Wednesday.
Be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow, or 8:15 or so.
Yep.
Okay.
there. 8 o'clock?
I just have one thing, and it's a reminder mainly. I won't be here next week because I'll be in day one of what's anticipated to be a 2-day jury trial.
Okay.
So usually I'd say come find me, but if you don't,
Ain't happening.
We know where you're at, we won't need to
Commission.
find you.
I'll be in the courtroom, and if anything needs to happen, just, if you can, pass it on a week,
Okay.
so.
See if we can move it off for 1 week as far as we can. Okay, Denise, we'll adjourn at 11:01.
Where they at, Don? Yeah.
Right down here in the lobby, and they're out front.
Bus is in the lobby?
No, yeah, didn't you hear all that banging around?
They brought the Christmas tree in.
Oh. On the bus?
Sure. Yeah.